Okay, and we are live.
Oh, good deal. I see that Jen and K-Bar user are already in the chat.
Hey
Yes, sir.
guys. All right, so let me go ahead and say the Bible verse now.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. The one I have is 2 Timothy 1:7, which says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Woo!
Ooh, that's
bro.
awesome.
Amen.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Sometimes, get worried about stuff or afraid of stuff that's going to happen, So I really like how the Bible's like, don't worry about it. We got it. God's in control, as Jarhead 6 like to say.
That's a powerful
Yeah,
one right there.
I'm very familiar with that scripture because with that Bible verse because it's something happened and very familiar. So go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Let's see here. Anyone have any topics that they'd like to share before we start? Anyone doing anything? Oh, I know. Let's go around and introduce ourselves, right? Let's start. Let's start on the left with Jarhead 6.
Hi everyone. Jarhead 6, and I run a channel here on YouTube. And other than that, I put a video today, and I'm gonna put another video on Saturday. We're gonna add up some stuff that Jake Hawk USNCR is gonna donate. I don't know exactly what's gonna be, but it's gonna be add up to the giveaway. So just stay tuned for Saturday, adding up that stuff, and then I think next Saturday is gonna be actually the drawing. And like you guys remember, we're giving away over 1,000 rounds of 22 LR and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm good.
Very cool. All right, and then and Ted.
Well, I am one of the primaries on the AMFAW channel, but the other three guys you see sitting here with me are also primaries on it. We're all administrators on the channel. I do have a really cool announcement coming out here in the next couple of weeks. We will the AMFAW T-shirts will be available for viewing here in a couple of weeks. I got the preliminary proofs back today. So I'm happy with the way they're looking. So we'll be able to have the AMFAW T-shirts out to y'all pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. And if I seem a little less than my usual self, it's because I'm not drinking Mountain Dew anymore. A trip to the doctor revealed an ulcer that made me feel like I was having a heart attack, and it turns out it's triggered by caffeine. So I am caffeine-free Ted for the last 3 or 4 days, and
man.
It sucks out loud.
Yeah, I don't think I could handle that.
I tell you what,
that's what happened.
My dreams
That's
are
what happens when you get old.
My dreams are way more vivid without caffeine. I don't know what it is about it, but I know it's the last 3 or 4 days. The dreams I've had have been almost hyper-realistic. Yeah.
Well, Ted, now you know how I felt, because remember what I did for 26 days? That thing was painful, man. So, you know what I'm saying.
The worst part about it is the little headache you get from the detox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't realize that caffeine is a your chair break again? You don't you don't realize that caffeine is a chemical drug like cocaine or heroin or nicotine or anything else. And when you don't have it for 3 or 4 days, you can't figure out why that little headache sets in behind your eyes, and well, hey, dummy, you hadn't had caffeine in 4 days. That's what's going on with you. And it's the same kind of little headache you get when you're dehydrated.
Horrible.
Yeah, I wish you luck on that, Ted, because I get a headache after, like if I get up late on a Saturday, I wake up with a headache because I don't have caffeine early in the morning.
Well, which brings us to a very good point. If you had to bug out, if the lights go dark, how much of us are addicted to these little tiny things that we take for granted every day, like sugar and caffeine and nicotine and Prilosec and stuff that you're not going to have access to anymore? You know,
What are you What are you talking about? Are you saying that the federal government is not going to come here and bring me a monster?
that's right. If you go down to the FEMA line, they will not be handing out cases of Monster Energy drinks.
Oh man, I don't believe that. The government would take care of me. I'm being sarcastic, by the
way. So I guess it drives to a sustainable lifestyle, and I realized that with the amount of Prilosec that I was taking, that my lifestyle is not sustainable. If I had to go away from a pharmacy and that group of Prilosec was depleted, you know, I'm hung out and wrung out. I'm ineffective at this point. I'm out of the fight, and so
well,
yeah.
I got to tell you, Ted. I smoke in the past cigarettes, and I don't drink, I don't smoke anymore. That's just one of the things that I did when I got saved. But
quit looking at me.
The point is that the point is that I know exactly what you're saying, because when you go on deployment in Afghanistan, there's no cigarettes. So a lot of guys, they actually stop smoking because they don't want to find themselves in that situation where you're in Afghanistan and you're going crazy because you don't have cigarettes. It's not like you go to the gas station and buy them, you know what I'm saying? So you give a lot. It's kind of like training your body for combat. You give a lot of those addictions away because you know you're not going to have it when you get into a combat zone. That's one of the things that I did in the past as I deployed it.
Yeah, I found when I was in my younger days, and I smoked a lot. I smoked 2 packs a day when I was in the rear. Mm-hmm. But the funny part about it is I could go out into the bush and put them down and not even worry about them for 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time, and come in and start smoking 2 packs a day right off the bat when I get back in, and not. That was probably, believe it or not, and I had a horrible habit. I smoked for 21 years, and I'm talking about a pack and a half, 2 packs a day. I didn't have any problem putting them down. I broke those habits associated with smoking, so giving up caffeine is harder to me because I want a cup of coffee in the morning. I enjoy that French vanilla creamer or hazelnut or whatever the wife puts in it, and I enjoy sitting there at the coffee table having our morning conversation over a cup of coffee and just kind of starting our day quietly. You know, we have a screened-in patio out back, and her and I will go out there. We have a little rocker swing out there. And we go sit out there with our coffee in the morning and just let the world kind of come alive around us. And it's not the same without a cup of coffee. I don't even want to look at her in the morning. Just go, just get away from me.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm kidding, honey.
Hey, so you guys, I guess it's on top of all the weather storm or something coming up, or is hitting right now. You guys heard anything about that?
Yeah, I'm very tuned into it, but I don't think it's going to reach me this time.
Yeah. Marty, I think you're going to get hit by it this time, aren't you?
It's snowing right now where I am.
Is it? Okay.
But it's not as bad as it is in Kansas City. So we'll probably get like 4 inches, 5 inches of snow. We've already gotten a few inches, so we might get a few more. I don't know.
Do the drones fly in this weather? Do they have de-icing capabilities? I'm just wondering.
Probably not. I'm not sure though.
Yeah. We got. Let's see. We mentioned Jennifer Young, Trees Are Blowing's in, Metal Trooper 62. Ralph Ledesma. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Mm-hmm. Brian is there too.
Brian's there.
We miss you, Brian.
Just out of curiosity, why are you giving up the caffeine? Oh, you came in late. Ted's got medical reasons to give up caffeine.
Driving up my blood pressure and aggravating an ulcer.
And you're supposed to drink coffee, not coffee, milk for that?
No, milk, believe it or not. milk has lactic acid in it. And it's just as bad for an ulcer as coffee is. Chocolate. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You'd think like chili pepper and stuff like that would do it, but no, it's stuff that I was doing every day that was just getting out of the box.
Oh.
Yeah, when my dad had a esophageal ulcer, and they actually told him that chili pepper was actually good for it, that it would help desensitize and stop the hurting in it.
Well, I got to
Oh,
where
wow. Ralph is from the Pacific Northwest. He said it's supposed to get to 20 below tonight. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you, but that stinks.
Go Seahawks.
I will move if I be you. Wow.
I would move. That's funny.
And just so K-Bar user knows, I'm not going to eat chalkboard chalk or even small amounts of clay to deal with that. I'll drink water. Water works, and once the ulcer is healed, I'll be okay. But I have to give it a chance to heal, and that's going to take a while. So it's going to take a while for it to heal. Evidently, it's pretty bad.
Al Owens, did you want to do your introduction? I don't know if you. I don't know if you said it first.
Went right behind you.
We did get sidetracked there, didn't we?
We just went on.
Okay, I'll do my standard, kind of like the YouTube anonymous. I'm the Alabama Owens, and I make YouTube videos. I don't have much going on right now. If you haven't watched my channel in the last few days, you get to see me act like an absolute idiot. I did. My wife said it was the dumbest thing she thinks I've ever done.
It was funny, though. It was funny.
You talking about you getting stunned?
Yeah, my wife and I, a couple of years back, I bought us both a flashlight that's a stun gun, and I've been curious ever since we got them as to just what that would do, and so I decided to test it out, and I filmed it for all my YouTube friends. So that's the only big news I got going on right now. So if I start jerking a little bit, it's just after effects.
Made him scream like a little girl through a heavy coat.
This nerve ending's firing. I've been.
You know what?
Fun.
Yeah.
I give it to you. They made me get tased. I didn't want to.
So walk us through the experience. I mean, what is your mind cognitive while you're being tased, or does everything just stop and go in slow motion?
Yeah, no, it's very. This wasn't. Having watched like when Destiny did her, where they shot her with the taser. I don't think this is the same kind of thing, because this, I didn't have a lockup of muscles. It was more of it's almost like if you've ever worked on a car and gotten shot by the 12-volt DC from the battery. It's just driving you away.
Yeah, well, the difference between getting tased and getting stunned is getting stunned is pain compliant, so it hurts. It hurts at that location. So if you get stunned in your leg, hurts in your leg. And getting tased is incapacitation. So your 50,000 or whatever amount of volts or electricity goes through your body, and you cannot move. You automatically hit the floor. When I went through the instructor course, and I'm wearing my little shirt that says instructor for the taser. By the way, I'm not showing off. Maybe I am. But anyways, they teach you on the X26 and I think it was the X26. I'm sorry, I went to the school in 2007, so it been 7 years, and they throw money on the floor, like they put $100, and they tell you go and pick it up. If you pick up the money, you can keep it and you cannot move. Like the moment that you got tased, you can. And I got tased for 3 seconds. My wife, because she's a law enforcement officer, she got tased for 5 seconds, so she got an extra 2 seconds. So she always tell me that I guess I'm not a real man because she got 2 more seconds.
Yeah, I got tased for 5 seconds too.
Yeah. The moment you squish the trigger, you get a 5-second ride. The only way to stop it is to put it back on safe. So typically they hit the trigger, they count to 3, and they put it back on safe. If not, they just tase you for 5 seconds. And I mean, I taste, I don't know, 50, 60, 100 people. I have sprayed hundreds of people. Yeah, I mean, you know, you become an instructor, and next thing you know, you are part of the non-lethal platoon. Because when you go out, you have to have a non-lethal force in case of humanitarian actions and humanitarian disturbance and things like that. And you have to train all those Marines, and that's part of the training, getting tased and getting sprayed. So I spray so many people, man. It's not even funny, man.
So
And
when you get hit with the taser and your muscles are locked up, is your brain still
when you get
working in
hit
real
with the
time?
taser, you do it at one of those.
Is that me or is that him?
That's him.
Yeah, that's him. I thought I froze up too. I was like,
Hey,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
You're back.
You guys heard me what I said? 'Cause I
No.
don't know if you guys hear me.
No,
No.
you-
I said when you get hit with the taser, your entire body like tense up to the point that you cannot even move, and you just hit the floor. That's it. If you saw the beginning of my video where I got tased. So nice dog.
That's our little puppy. She's great, Dana.
yeah, I have a video of myself getting tased when I was helping out with those cops. That's one of the things that they did through me, and it was one of the where they connect the little two little prongs on you, and then they press it, and then
Yeah.
tases for I don't tase or stun or whatever for 5 seconds. But man, I don't even want to upload that to YouTube because it just looks like I died. I mean, it was awful. Like my back leg, they put it on both my back legs because they asked everyone. They were like, "Well, what do you, where do you want to, And I was like, just wherever, if you, demonstration purposes, wherever, and just do it quickly before I realize what I'm doing." And man, I instantly regretted that. I've never felt so much pain. It like crossed the threshold that I thought existed. It was
Well,
it
when
was
you
awful.
shoot, it's designed for it has two prongs, and one prong goes straight into your body, and the other prong, the bottom one, has like a 7-degree that it's supposed to like spread out in your body. The more that it's spread out in your body, the more that the electricity goes through your body as well. So when they put those clip-ons, that hurts even more because they usually put it like really spread out. But like if you see my video, I had one on my boot, and the other guy, the Army staff sergeant that was there with me, he had one on his boots.
It went through both of you.
Yeah, it went through me and him at
remember
the
now.
same time. Yeah, that sucked, man.
Yeah, you had that video up, right?
Yeah, I put as an
I've seen that.
introduction.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, it
So
was fun.
Ralph Ledesma
Hey.
had a question that would be really good for you, JH6. You see it on there, Alabama?
What?
Oh, I missed it. No.
He said, my
Yeah,
wife
he's
wants
talking
her first handgun. Can't really afford a Glock. Any other good cheap starters?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'll throw something in here. It's not a revolver, but it is a cheap starter, and you can get them. And you'll have to forgive me because it's disassembled. But they do make the Makarov and the Tokarov. You can still get those little guns for around $200. This one's disassembled. I've been working on it. But it's in 380, and you can also get them in 9mm, and you can still get them for around $200 if it's something to look into.
Yeah. You could go into the Rock Island M206, Mike 206. It's kind of like the review that the firearm guy did, and he did one on the M200, which is the 4-inch barrel. This one, the M206, is the 2-inch barrel. And I mean, I got to tell you, man, it's so ugly. It's ugly as a high point. It's really ugly.
Hey, what's wrong with the high point?
But I tell you, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that
That
when
is
I
the
hold that revolver, yeah. This one comes pretty close to it. When I hold that revolver, it was so comfortable. Like it felt so good in my hand. It was like an ugly thing that felt good in my hand. I don't know how to even explain that.
Yeah,
So you may look into that. And then what is this revolver called that I just got? EAA
EAA.
Windicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, the EAA Windicator. .357 Magnum. It's kind of heavy though, but it conceals pretty well.
Well, and being heavy, it's gonna lighten the recoil on a 38 too.
Yeah. You don't have to shoot 357. You can shoot 38 or 38 plus P too as well, and that will take care of business.
Take a look at the internal chat, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. My guy is the 357 by SB 101, and it's pretty heavy, but I like the heft of it, like you were saying. You know, it helps with the recoil.
Yeah, man. That's a very good revolver, man.
This little semi-auto here's got an aluminum frame and a metal slide. It's very light, and it was this is the FEG. It was a Hungarian police pistol, military police pistol. And like I said, cheap little gun. You can still get them through Century. So,
is that a TOC or a MOC?
That is Makarov, actually. Yeah, the Tokarov is kind of a rip off of the. Got a lot of the 1911 features in it. Single action only. This is actually a double action, single action deal there. So it's got that second strike capability, and the safety is it has a decocker on it, so you don't have to leave it hot.
Huh. Yeah. But you know what? He brings a really good point. Having his wife carry a gun. I mean, a lot of girls don't want to carry a gun for some reason. And like I tell my wife, every place that you go, bring a weapon with you. Every place. She knows that. Glock 19 inside her purse. So.
What about the Nano? I know a buddy of mine. He got the Nano for his wife, the Beretta Nano.
What's Beretta Nano going for these days?
I don't know. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I can look it up. Sending you the thing now.
Yeah, we live in a Google world.
Nano. Looking it up now.
What are we talking about?
I'm just trying to pull up oh, it's Destiny. She's on this site. Her picture is on the site that they just pulled up. That was weird. Destiny from Fate of Destiny.
Yeah.
I just pulled up a review video, and it's her. It's an article that I guess she wrote. Let's say the pricing on it.
Sorry, guys, I had to go and get something.
Oh, here it is. It is $475, but about $400 street price. According to
what gun is that again?
The Beretta Nano.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean that revolver, the M206 is $200, $219, and this one's $269. So if you want to go really cheap, I mean $400, you go into a different market. There is so many guns that you could buy for $400.
Yeah.
Guys, one thing to think about if you're talking about ladies and guns. I don't know if your wives are like mine, but my wife wanted hers to be pretty.
Yeah, my wife wants hers to be black.
That's why I had to step away for a second, and the color's not coming through good here. But
is that lavender?
This is the Lavender Lady.
Uh-oh. Jen is going to flip out.
Charter Arms 38 Special. And you know what?
That's pretty.
It's got me wanting a 38 Special because I like shooting this thing. But I just can't carry a pink revolver or a purple revolver.
Hey, Mike, you could do that. I mean, come on, Jesus.
Hey,
Jesus like purples, man.
High visibility.
My masculinity, I can carry one.
Yeah, if Jesus could wear purple, we all could wear purple, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's high
visibility. Right there.
See, my wife doesn't want to carry a pink revolver because she says that if she has a gun and she has it pointed at someone, she doesn't want to look cute. But I can see why. But I can see, it's something that girls like. A lot of girls like pink and purple and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a big seller. Otherwise, they wouldn't make them.
Oh, and
I
otherwise you wouldn't be paying $400 plus for a Charter Arms revolver.
yeah.
You break this puppy down here and get you a rattle can out, and you can paint it whatever color you want.
There you go. There you go.
I got to tell you, man. I point my weapon to too many people already, and they don't think it's cute, no matter what color the weapon is. So just saying.
That's so true.
They don't care what color it is. They don't think it's cute.
Is
about
Brian still in the chat?
I don't know.
And
Hadn't seen him.
This is my.
Yeah, that's another.
Jennifer says no guns being purple, just the accessories.
This is my Magpul backup iron sights from my Glock, and so I can take my scope off of it.
Yeah.
well, what about? No, go ahead. I was gonna say something else. Keep the
No,
chat
go ahead,
going. Hey, Kitty. I was gonna say. I was gonna change the subject. So if you're still talking about guns, of course you're probably gonna be talking about guns all the time. But go for it.
I talk about guns so much and my wife gets annoying, man. I just need to take a break about talking about guns.
You're not alone there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you know, a lot of guys don't like the revolvers because of the whole 6 rounds, you know, versus 17 or versus 15 rounds. But I mean, some of the ladies that don't really know much knowledge about pistols and things like that, and they don't really want to learn, because face it, some people don't want to learn. You know, 6 rounds will give them some type of protection, and revolver, the only thing they got to do, we all know that, open the cylinder, put some bullets, and then shoot it. I mean, it's very simple. So a revolver is not a bad idea for a lady that does not want to learn how to use a weapon, or just want to have a weapon, you know. So, but I know some people don't like him for whatever reason.
I talked to a guy that was a cop back in the, I want to say 60s, 70s, and they were issued a Smith & Wesson Model 10 .38 special revolver as his sidearm of the day. And he said that probably the single coolest thing about a revolver is you were very aware of your round count.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, you wasn't just gonna go. You wasn't gonna go banging away at it like you would with a Glock. You know, because you got 15 in the pipe. You know.
Mhm. I mean, I think it comes down to training, though. Because I mean, you guys know I got the Glocks, and I'm kind of putting my Glock 17 to the side to carry the revolver just because it's smaller. That Glock 17 is pretty big and it's pretty difficult to conceal. And something that I always said it many times is this is not the military. This is not. I know we watch videos and we're not cops. We're not fighting the enemy. Our point is to survive. So if you see a bad guy and you have to take a shot, you should take a shot and run away. You're not seeking the enemy by fire maneuver and destroying the enemy's assault. You're not doing that. You're not looking for the enemy. If you have to, you know what I'm saying? If you see a bad guy, you take a shot. If you have to take a shot, and you run for your life. You want to go away from the threat. That's what you're going to use the weapon for, to go away from the threat.
Use everything at your disposal to neutralize that threat, to stop that aggressive action, to keep yourself safe. And if that's firing in one shot and he turns tail and run, there's no reason to fire the other 5.
No.
And
there's no reason to run after him neither.
No,
Let him go.
No. The pursuit will get you put in prison.
In prison. You're right about that, sir.
Well, we can look at the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman thing there. You know, he was tagging along behind Trayvon Martin, kind of antagonizing him. And had he just broke contact and let the police, he probably would have never went to trial. Mm-hmm. But once he had antagonized that young man to jump on him, and that young man was beating the smoke out of him, you know, he didn't have any choice but to kill him. I mean, he had to. The kid was beating the soup out of him. He didn't know how far that aggressive action, how far it was going to escalate.
And what did he use?
Is that what he used?
PF9. Kel-Tec.
Yeah. that's a pretty inexpensive gun too.
Yeah, it really is. Which is why I have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking bad about it. I'm just saying that that's a pretty good choice for a lady too as well, anyone to carry because it's a pretty good product.
Yeah, it's very good price. Recoil's a little heavy on it. Even more experienced shooters with the PF9 tend to be low and left, which means you're anticipating that recoil.
Sorry.
So.
Sorry.
Well, I'm low and left. Seriously, if I aim center a mass, I'm going to kneecap you every time.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to like home invasion. Like people always says, I'm gonna take my shotgun and go and clear my house. Come on, man. You know, if you hear a bad guy inside your house, get yourself inside your room with your children, aim to that door so no one comes in, and call the police. And is this still your computer? Who cares? You know, who cares to steal your computer? What are you going to do? Go downstairs and go looking for the bad guy because you got a gun? Well, the bad guy has a gun too, and he's going to shoot at you. And he most likely is going to kill you over a stupid computer or a stupid TV that you could go to Walmart and buy another one for $250. Come on, man. Let him take your stuff and stay secure in your house.
I keep my door locked.
That's just, yeah.
I had a very good video. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I had a very good video. It was long, and I didn't like it because it was so long. And it was how to set yourself up for success in the event of a home invasion. And the tips that I used in that thing were stuff I heard directly from folks who just literally got bum rushed in the days after Katrina when they were living in the dark because they knew the cops weren't coming. They had lights inside their house. The aggressors outside knew if they had lights and a generator running that they probably had food, and they just literally kicked the front door down and ran it, bum rushed them, you know. Some things to remember. That from the time they make entry in your front door, 95% of the time they're going to run straight to the master bedroom, which is down at the end of the hall. Most houses are built with the master bedroom at the end of that main hallway. Not so much the case in my house, but for most houses, that's where it's at, because the master bedroom, master bath suite's down at the end of the hall. They say that they will kick your door, and from the time that door comes in to the time they're standing at your foot of the bed is 4 seconds. 4 seconds in a strange home to find that master bedroom, because most homes in America are laid out the same way. So they suggest that you do things to put that fight in your favor. The first and most important thing you can do is skyline those people at the end of your hall. And all you military guys know what skylining yourself means, but for those of you that weren't in the military, you leave a light on in your kitchen or your living room, so when they enter your hallway, if you're not asleep yet when that door comes in, you have them silhouetted by that light, but they cannot see you. So now you have a perfect silhouette, and when we go to the range and we train, what are we shooting at? We're shooting at those silhouette targets. So now that training that you've been doing all this time at the range just kicks in, and you're going to put that front sight post center mass, and you're going to squeeze that trigger. And even if you miss, that guy knows you have a gun, and his mind's going to get changed. And if it's not, then you need to keep pulling that trigger until that threat goes away. They recommend that you arrange your furniture so you optimize that 4 seconds to possibly 5 or 6 seconds. And if they have a chair at the end of your hallway or a sofa that they have to go around to get to that hallway, then you've given yourself a cushion of time there, because time is important. And
that's why I like dogs.
A barking, yappy little dog is going to be your best friend, more than ADT, because when the power goes out, that dog still barks.
I
love my Chihuahua. I love my little Chihuahua.
Me too.
Well, there's a little guy that was on.
I have a Chihuahua too.
A little guy that was on. What was the show on Nat Geo? Was it American Prepper or whatever it was? Doomsday Preppers.
Yeah.
Little fat guy from Tennessee.
Those guys are hardcore.
Sorority,
David Sorority.
Yeah, so and just a total idiot. All right, and I believe that in my heart of hearts. And I've followed his YouTube channel, and I believe in my heart. And I hate saying this about anybody, but that guy has got something wrong with him. and no wonder they think we're all nuts. But he had 2 or 3 really good points in there that I took away from it, and we have to be able to separate the wheat from the chaff when we're watching these things. And one of them was he was surrounded by a pack of yapping little dogs, and they were an early warning system for him.
Little min pins.
Yes. And the second thing was he was protecting his radios and electronics against the EMP. And if you folks don't think that can happen, it was in the early 1800s. They had a solar flare so strong that hit the United States that it set telegraph lines on fire. So if that were to happen today, it would be the dark ages in America.
Google Carrington event.
Literally.
Yes, literally.
You know, you got to think too. I've met Marines that been in the Marine Corps 10, 15, almost 20 years of training. I'm talking about millions of dollars in training. I remember going to the range and shooting 1,000 rounds of 50 cal. You know, shooting AT-4. I mean bazookas. I'm shooting bazookas or whatever you call it in the civilian life. AT-4. Shooting 600 rounds of 5.56. I mean, like I remember going to the range, and Ted knows this, from 6 o'clock in the morning and shooting all the way until midnight the next day, because you know we're doing night vision training and things like that. And you got those guys are highly trained, real operators, and they get killed. I mean that's just because sometimes you're gonna die. I mean some of those guys get killed. So what I'm trying to say is like, dude, because you watch a YouTube video and you took a $300 class, it does not qualify you to be an operator. And I'm not an operator. I'm just a civilian that have back surgery and I have issues standing up sometimes. So I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. What I'm trying to say is that don't think you're an operator because you bought yourself a Remington 700. Stay inside your room and wait for the police to show up with your gun, because that TV is going to cost you your life. Well, it is going to.
You know.
I'm just saying.
It caught me off guard, but
Yeah.
You know, YouTube will take you to some strange places. And not long ago, I was looking at some of the videos, and I'm following you guys' feed, and I'm watching stuff. For example, K-Bar User, he's pretty prolific on G+, and he comments on stuff. And when he comments on it, a lot of times I'll watch it. And so I watched a video that linked me to a video that linked me to the video, and now you're way out there in bizarre territory. Well, I was watching a video on this militia, and I want to say they're in one of them northern states up there where Handgun Newbie lives, or someplace like that.
All those weird shaped states.
But they were considering themselves a militia, and they were training themselves up, or speaking the rhetoric about defending the United States against a foreign invader. And I literally caught myself talking out loud to my computer screen saying, you idiots think for 1 second that your fat potato chip eating butt is going to take on hardened troops that have been training for months to come. They're not going to line up for you and let you shoot them. You know, they're not going to dance around like in the movies, and, you know, and let you shoot one of them. You know, 13 of them with a revolver.
What if you're shouting Wolverines?
Well, that makes
a difference.
That makes all the difference. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. But
here's my Gus weapon. Just saying. It shoots 30 rounds. It shoots 30 rounds, so 30-06.
Well, that brings me to one thing I did want to ask is we talk about, you know, guns and all that stuff, but what about knives? I'm kind of a knife guy. Do y'all carry like knives on you at all? And if you do, would you ever use them in a defense situation?
I have a very good friend of mine, and you can check his channel out, Mark III SMLE. He used a knife and actually killed another human being with it in a defensive situation when he got jumped on. And he doesn't tell the story, but you know, he's a knife guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of a knife guy because whenever I was at a gas station, that happened to me. Well, he didn't jump me, but he was coming at me, and I was telling him kind of stay away, because I'm watching this guy. I mean, you know how you can just sense things about people that, you know, they're kind of off and they're coming at you. Well, I could kind of pick them out really quick. But especially being in a gas station in this part of town that I was in, I was already at a heightened sense of awareness. And this also kind of brings me to a point that I'm going to maybe make an AMFAW YouTube video on about the importance of filling up when you hit the half point on your gas, rather than waiting till you absolutely have to fill up. And that's what happened. I got wrong part of town, the wrong part of town, and this guy came at me, and I pulled out a knife and told him to stay away. Was it a bunch of
brown people there?
What's that?
A bunch of brown people there? Was it a bunch of brown people?
No,
I was just joking around.
It looked like Jarhead 6.
Did they look? Did they spoke with an accent? They say, "Hey Chico,
no.
Hey Chico."
No, he was white, as white as me. He was as white as me. He was older.
I don't know about all that.
30 years older, and yeah, he looked like he'd been taking something, alcohol, drugs, or something. And anyways, ever since then, I've always made sure I've carried 2 knives on me, because people are always like, "Well, man, you carry so many knives." Like, man, after that experience, I was glad I had one.
You know, actually, a wise man once, I saw a video by a wise man one time that said you should have 3 Fs for your knives. Nobody's going to pick that up.
Brilliant!
Ted locked up on us. A folder, a fixer, and a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Mr. Ted Owens that put that video up.
And I believe that to this day. That those are. I'd hate to think I'm sitting on the side of the road and wishing I just had something as simple as a pair of needle nose pliers to get my truck going, and didn't have that. You know. Yeah. And
you know something that Go ahead, Ted.
There's a 4th F in there too, and it's called having some freaking common sense. You know, situational awareness is the thing, you know.
You know something that I heard Budges is talking about it, and I have not heard. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I haven't seen anybody actually teaching this to include some of this high, you know, cool places to train commands. Like, I barely hear anyone teaching commands. Like, commands are so critical. Not only pulling out your gun, but giving commands. Like, you know, stop resisting, or go away from me. I got a gun. Walk away. I will use my gun. Some type of command. Because, I mean, this happened to me twice. I came out on CNN, I think it was CNN or Fox News. Hopefully not CNN, because I don't like that. But back in 2003, we came out on CNN dealing with prisoners of war, APWs. And I didn't even know CNN was recording me. The point is that if you get in a confrontation and you shoot someone and someone is recording you, or someone is witnessing, the fact that you're giving command is going to help you in some type of legal issue. You know, I told the guy to go away from me multiple times, and he kept calling. And that's going to justify you in a way to engage that target or that threat. I don't know. I just don't. You guys seeing any commands giving or any training? You guys know what I'm saying when it comes to that?
No, yeah. Definitely.
See, the reason why I did it is because, like, I keep saying the same thing about the whole, you know, for 5 months I worked with cops, but during that they did train me, and then I used that training in the job. Even though it wasn't life-threatening, but you have to give commands. You have to continue to practice the commands. And what they say, and I'm sure y'all have heard this too, it's a common military phrase, is you don't rise up to the occasion, you fall back on training. And that's what happened. It was just natural for me. I didn't even think about what I was doing. I just, you know, I held out my hand, and I just kept repeating it. And there are cameras around. This is one of those gas stations where there's lots of cameras there around, which is one of those, like, I'm in the right place. But anyways, I'll let someone else answer that too.
Yeah.
Well, I like that hand. You putting the hand up, it creates that distance. And if he rushes you, you still have some type of control that you can place.
You have that push off. That's right.
Yeah. Well, and Budget, you know, you and me, especially, Jarhead 6, it still affects you some. It may affect you, well, Ted, with your travels, it probably affects you. You know, Budget and I can't carry on a daily basis.
I can't either.
So, you know, that, yes, I've always got a knife on me. I also always have a stun gun on me.
Or a flashlight.
Yeah, but that's just.
Yeah. But, you know, sometimes
you know,
there just are situations where you can't carry.
Yeah.
That goes back to I did a video about this, but that goes back to sometimes it's kind of funny to hear because people always got a what if. What if you run out of rounds? What if your Glock doesn't work? What if this? Listen, man, if you find yourself in a situation to survive, I mean, if you have to throw a rock, throw a rock. If you have to throw a chair and flip a table, if you have to run and jump through a window, jump through a window. You have to do what you got to do. I mean, life is not perfect. I'm just saying. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, what if here's a really good one to think about. For example, sometimes I will fly for a meeting just for the day. I'm gonna be back in my own bed tonight, so I'm gonna catch an early flight out. I'm gonna go make that meeting. Let's say Denver. Make the meeting. Have lunch at 2 or 3 o'clock. I'm back at the airport. I'm getting back on the aircraft to come back home. Now, I'm not carrying my bug-out bag, and I certainly can't carry a firearm on an aircraft. There's no point in me checking baggage through. I will take a small bag, but it is going to be aircraft friendly. It will have a change of shoes in it. I will have a rain jacket. I will have stuff that if I'm on foot, you know, I'm going to have extra cash, stuff like that. So if I'm on foot and let's say we catch a solar flare and now you're not flying. If I'm getting home, I'm riding a bicycle at this point. Well, that's, what, 1,600 miles?
True.
That's 4 months on foot. You know?
In a now third world country.
That's
Yes.
right. Now I'm outside my own wire. I don't know, you know, now I have to get back home. So is there going to be a plan in place for my wife and family if I don't get home for 4 months? What are they going to do? Where are they going to be when I do get home? Are they even going to be here? You know, we have to kind of stop thinking about that narrow little short tunnel vision 90-day event, or, you know, at the most with a hurricane, or a 3-day event with severe weather, or something even smaller than that, like this last little weather event we had coming through, the ones they got coming through tonight. And in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, that's going to be over. Right. But what about that extended event?
Ted, if I didn't know better, I would swear I locked up.
No, you're good.
You're
okay.
fine.
All right. If I didn't know better, I'd swear you were reading one of my favorite book series.
I did see that on your website, and I've been kind of following that same mentality. And that's where my coyote doctrine theory comes into play, that you don't engage aggressors, that you're going to do just like a coyote. They work on the edge of on the periphery, on the edge of society. They're not. You don't see them in town, and when you do see one, you're lucky that you've seen it because they're very aware of your presence, and they're opportunistic predators. You know, they're going to steal something out of your trash can before they drag down one of your one of your cattle, and that's kind of how the way you have to be too. If you're on the move and you're bugging out and you're going to get from point A to point B and you're mission driven, you're focused on the task at hand. All that unnecessary stuff, the engagement and the aggressors and the you'd have to avoid every population center between Denver and South Louisiana, and there's a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. You'd have to be able to land navigate, the old way by dead reckoning. You couldn't count on a GPS to work for you anymore. You know, you're going to have to think outside the box because you're not going to make it if you don't. You're not going to survive the event. You're going to become a storm-related casualty, or whatever the event is.
Right.
You know, it's crazy, Ted. I remember in 2004 when I was in Iraq. For some reason, the way they sell gas in Iraq, or they used to do it, was that on one day they would sell gas until they would go dry, and then they had to wait until the gas would come back into that gas station. And I mean, the lines were like 2-3 mile long. And we're doing convoys, patrols, and we would see the guys, and we would kind of stick around there sometimes. And a lot of times you would see the guys picking up gas, and 3-4 miles away from there, because there was only one highway. The bad guys were waiting for those guys that just purchased gas, and they would kill them. And I cannot tell you how many times we saw people dead that just picked up gas, and the other guys would kill them and take away the fuel. And that goes back to that situation. People may kill you for fuel, so you just got to be ready. And if you don't happen to have your Glock or your revolver or your MP9 or whatever, you know what? Pick up a stick and make it look like a spear or something, and defend your. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Get a stick, make it look like a baseball bat, and that's what you're gonna use and to defend yourself. Don't be and I seen videos here on YouTube. Every time we see a shootout, people run for their life, like running and scared. Like, defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Defend yourself. My wife carries a Glock 19.
I want to make a plug here. What Ted was talking about, if any of you guys like to read, anybody watching in the chat box likes to read, the series starts with Going Home is the title of the book. It's by Angry American. Met the guy years back on a prepper's website, actually. It's basically prepper fiction. And the guy's away from home, and there's a Carrington event or an EMP something, and it's a story about getting back to his family in exactly the type of situation that Ted was talking about. Highly recommend it to anybody. It's kind of addicting series, though. He has 3 of 4 published right now, and I just finished the 3rd recently. Now I'm waiting on the 4th.
And while we're talking about books and stuff, I just got a book. This one just came out at the end of last year, and I contacted the publisher and asked if they'd want me to review it, and they sent it to me. But it's called The Prepper's Complete Book of Disaster Readiness, and I'll do a review on it whenever I'm done with it on my YouTube channel. But it's by Jim Cobb, and the first chapter, it talks about the 3 different lengths of preparedness, like you were talking about. It talks about limited term ones, which is like 72 hours, medium term ones, sort of like Katrina, and it could take several weeks, and then it talks about the end of the world as we know it, kind of long-term emergencies. So that's another one that I'll talk about more in the coming days. So far, it's been really interesting. I haven't been able to read too much because I got a bunch of stuff going on with work and just life and stuff, and YouTube. But I really like that so far.
Cool.
I think Ted should write a book from the things that happened in Katrina. You can probably write a book about that. That'd be pretty interesting to watch.
Well, you're going to laugh, and I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, and there's something a lot of you guys haven't known about me. But I actually did, and you can get these things at Home Depot. You'll see them out right there. It's called The Ultimate Survival Manual. And no, I'm kidding you. I didn't write it, but I did find it. I just want to show you how mainstream prepping has become. Is you can now get prepper survival manuals. I actually did buy this at Home Depot. I was with my wife one day shopping, and it was right there with the How to Build a Shed books. And now it was $25, and it covers scenarios from how to make your own compass, how to build a fire, how to stay safe on a transit train. I mean, not just end of the world kind of stuff, but just how to get by wherever you're at, how to get out of a freezing water by yourself, that kind of stuff. It's pretty rudimentary information in there, but it's like you said, it pays to be prepared. And $25 is a very small investment, when it comes to your life or the life of your children. So if I could buy insurance for $25, I'd do it.
Exactly. That's how I think of prepping. It's just another. I mean, no one thinks, "Oh, you have insurance? Are you crazy? Do you think that your house is going to flood? Well, what's
Right.
wrong with you? Why would you spend money on?" No, people don't think that because it's accepted by culture, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess bad things do happen." But if you say, "Well, I'm stocking up on food," and they'd be like, "Oh, what? Why would you do that?"
Well, and the thing
suddenly
is,
we're crazy.
if you went back to even like my grandmother's generation,
Yeah.
Well, he's got that.
Back
He's
yourself.
got. Yeah, no,
Okay,
he did.
I'm back.
He's back.
if you go back even to my grandmother's generation, and you told them the way that the average American lives now, they would think you were the biggest fool for not having, stored food and stored goods and being ready for, the lean times.
If I ever
That was
told
just a way of life.
if I could go back in time and tell my grandfather that I'd be buying bottles of water, he would jump up out of his grave and slap my liver out.
Yeah.
Hey, Ted, so are you saying that you cannot buy insurance for $25 with Obamacare? I heard something.
Well, here's a very good quote that along the insurance lines in prepping, and you can take this to heart or not. But I saw this at my wife's office. It said, "Husbands rarely believe in life insurance, but widows always do."
Mm-hmm.
So I saw just how bizarre, and that is the best word I can use, that human beings get when the lights go out for a couple of weeks. In those days after Katrina, these people lost their minds. My neighbors, these people that are just as normal as you or me, when the lights went out, they went bananas.
Mm-hmm.
It was primal. It was medieval. I don't know how to explain it, but when you see, and I don't want to get on this whole tangent about zombies, but that's where that's why it came back into popularity from the 70s, was those days after Katrina, because the first responders were referring to those people as zombies because they were displaced humans. And if you've been in the sandbox out there, Fabian, and you've seen refugees, and if you watch how those refugees walk, and you look at that look in their eye, they're dead. They're dead inside. They're in shock. They don't have a thing to their name, and they don't have a place to go, and they don't have a specific time to even be there. And when you take everything away from somebody, everything that they're fundamentally rooted in is gone. They go into shock, and when they go into shock, they're going to act and look and walk and feel like a zombie. And it's easy for us to make fun of those folks from a distance, but when that zombie is you, who's going to have compassion for you if you don't have compassion for somebody else?
Yeah.
Well, look what happened with the whole Google Plus. Google Plus took over, and people were flipping out. People are not used to changes, so you know what I'm saying. We just had to adjust. A good example is when you go on deployment, and as stupid as it sounds, but you don't have a cell phone, and you spend 12 months without having a cell phone. You go through a whole period that you have to get used to it, because we are so used to checking Facebook, checking YouTube, checking emails, and then they take away your cell phone. Like for the first couple of months, people are like lost, like they don't even know what to do without a cell phone, and then you get used to it. So yeah, that used to phase is painful for a lot of people. So
I know that we kind of want to wrap up a little bit, but like one last thing when it comes to zombies is, as you all know, I do some zombie videos. What I say in my last one is, people they give me grief. One of the comments is like, "There's never going to be zombies. You're crazy." Things like that. I'm like, oh, okay. But what I say is, if you're prepared for a zombie apocalypse, and no, I don't believe that one will happen, but if you are prepared for one, then you're prepared for a lot of different events, without rule of law events. But anyways, do y'all if you want, we can kind of wrap this up. Is there any last questions, or should we any last questions in the chat that we need to answer, or should we go around saying what we're up to in the coming days?
I think we're kind of caught up on the chat questions. I do want to put out for the people in the chat. We figured out how to get the chat box on the right side instead of below. I'm assuming everybody likes that. If you can just leave a response, yes or no, in the chat.
Oh man, I'm laughing because it took you a lot of work to figure it out. So please, people, appreciate what Alabama always did. You have no idea how much pain he went to figure that out.
And research.
So, I'm gonna put the first one. I'm gonna be like yes. Everybody, yes, I'll put yes.
I'm gonna say no. Just kidding.
Oh man. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, do we want to close it out the same way with talking with Jarhead? Anything coming up? Coming videos? Any giveaways? That people
no, I got like always. If you guys want to hear, know any videos or know anything about me, just send me a PM because I guess I gotta get in some type of schedule and some type of videos because I just wake up and whatever I feel like it. That's what I do. Like legitimate. I'm trying to put a video every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So 5 minutes before I think about something, and if it hits me, I go outside and do it. So sometimes I put good videos, sometimes I put bad videos. But next Saturday we're gonna put the giveaway out of the stuff for the giveaway. So I appreciate the support and God bless.
And that's on your channel?
Yeah. Next Saturday I put a video and Jake Hogg is giving me some stuff. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna send him a PM and ask him what it is. And then I think we got 1, 2, and then the Saturday after that we do the picking the winner. So
awesome. All right, Ted, do you have anything?
No, just keep your eyes open for the T-shirts. I'll put a video out when I get them in my hands for anybody that wants one. And I want to thank everybody. AMFAW Channel just hit 600, and so I did that this morning. I think actually we hit 601. So thanks a lot for that. We're gonna hit 1,000, and I'm telling you, when we hit 1,000, it's gonna be a smoking giveaway. So push us out, folks, if you can.
Very cool. All right, Alabama Owens, do you have anything?
I've got a couple more gear reviews coming out, just small little items. Actually, one of them is a rerun ripoff from Jarhead 6, but I think that one pushes out Thursday. But just my take on something he had already talked about. I'm kind of stepping up in the future on gear reviews. Are
you doing the English version?
Yeah.
The English, because I did the Hispanic version. You doing the English version?
I'm translating for everyone for you.
Okay, got it.
But I'm kind of stepping up the gear reviews a little bit because I feel like I've had most of my gear long enough now that I can give you a good review on it. So I'm going to be putting out some more of that than I have been in the past. And I do want to say thank you to Jarhead 6 because his contest has really pushed me up.
Yeah, the AMFAW Channel too. Yeah.
Over 100 subs in the last week. Well, since he started the contest. So I want to say thanks.
No problem, brother.
Very cool. All right. As far as my channel goes, basically I'm going to be doing mostly review videos. I'm going to update my Zombie Apocalypse Survival Kit video. I'm going to do a 2.0 version of it. That's quickly becoming my most watched video. So stay tuned to see what updates that I do on that. Let's see here. That's it basically in a nutshell. And I got a couple of giveaways that are closing out this Saturday. So check out my channel for details on that. All right. Anyone else have any final words before I close this out?
Nope.
All right, everyone. All right. Well, this is Budget Bug Out, and all my friends are warriors. Y'all have a great night. God bless.
Good night, guys.
Night.